and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Australian Wool Innovation, one half of this great natural partnership between Australian wool and cotton that we're here today to celebrate. I'm wearing wool, cotton and silk, as I'm pleased to see so many else of the audience are as well. Well done. And it is my great honour and privilege to welcome the Honourable Tony Burke, Federal Agricultural Minister, who we'll hear from in just a moment. Also, a very special welcome from our visiting dignitaries from the United Nations. Director General Dr. Jacques Diouf from the United Nations FAO, welcome. Acting Director of the United Nations Information Centre, Richard Tarley. Assistant FAO Representative for the Pacific Islands, Paul Tamale. And also Anna Inglis of Australia Post, representatives from the embassies of our major trading partners and representatives from the wool and cotton industries here today. We're here to recognise and celebrate the role that wool and cotton industries have played and continue to play in Australia. And it's fitting that we're here at the Maritime venue today, as it was from this very precinct that so much of Australia's natural fibre has been exported. Later, we will hear from the CEO of Cotton Australia, Mr. Adam Kay. But for now, it is my great pleasure and privilege to introduce the Federal Agricultural Minister, the Honourable Mr. Tony Burke.
I'm really happy to be here today to be able to launch the United Nations Year for Natural Fibres here in Australia. Allow me to begin by acknowledging His Excellency Dr. Jacques Diouf from the FAO, as well as also acknowledging Mr. Richard Tarl, Mr. Paul Tamane, Mr. Eugene Zukov, as well as the representatives from AWI, CRDC, Cotton Australia, and of course the hosts, Ms. Brenda McGowan and Mr. Adam Kay, to all of you and to all the producers as well who are here. Let me give a prediction. There will never be an international year of polyester. And we have today, we're able to launch an international year which matters to the world, which matters to Australia throughout the last 200 years, and you couldn't find a better place or a more relevant place to actually launch this than where we are here. We're here pretty close to the site where the first sheep would have been unloaded, pretty close to the site where the original cotton seed would have found its way off the boat and made its way out to the farms throughout Australia. We have an international year which goes to natural fibre and runs through the heart of Australia's history and runs to the heart of jobs throughout the world. And when people talk about something that has such historic ties, how exciting is it that we're talking about an area where you don't just have the history, but you also have the cutting edge of technology, because natural fibres tell both stories. Yesterday I was in Hamilton in Victoria, visited the property by the name of Jigsaw Farms and went to look at some work being done out of the Future Farms CRC, which AWI are involved with, a number of organisations are involved with, called Evergrace. And there we find, in the same way as many of the brains over the previous 30 years have been pushing the boundaries of technology, now to find grazing doing the same thing, to find new varieties of lucerne available so that you actually get the full 12 months of feed being available. Incredible work being done in perennial pasture, which provides a real positive outcome for growers, and at the same time says, regardless of the challenges that the climate keeps throwing at us, We are here in the business of producing Australian wool for good, and there is a bright future there, partly because we keep pushing those boundaries of technology. Cotton has a similar technology story to tell. I've been in endless debate since I first took on this job about my strong belief that we should be quite willing and have an open mind to the many opportunities that science is going to present to us. And one of the opportunities that science will present to us is opportunities through genetic modification. If you wanted to find a massive success story of that, you only need to look at cotton. We're still dealing with a natural fibre. We're still dealing with genetic modification of processes that occur in a very random fashion naturally, but being able to pick and choose from within that range that we get to be able to say, okay, here's some modifications we can do that provide an answer for us dealing with part of that jigsaw of the many challenges that climate change brings us. If there is ever a statistic with natural fibre and with cotton of the significance of the new technologies out of genetic modification, I think it's India. Because for us in Australia, a whole lot of other technologies came on board at different times. Genetic modification gradually got better, and it's a slower story. India did the late switch, and when they did the switch to GM cotton, in a period of 4 years, a 75% improvement in production. 75% improvement in production in 4 years. And I think that tells a big part of the story as to what can be possible when we're willing to push the boundaries of what technology can offer. And I'm certainly hopeful that what fibre has led at different points, and there'll always be the standard rules that you have to follow in terms of food safety. But I'm very hopeful some of the productivity outcomes that we've been able to get with fibre, over time we'll find with food as well. So that the farmers of Australia are able to have, and the farmers of the world indeed, are able to have all the best tools and technology available at their disposal to do work that has been done for centuries, but to do it in a modern way, a smart way, a more efficient way.